Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And today we're going to be reviewing the 5th episode of Clarice, coming to you from CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. This episode is entitled Get Right with God, and you can kind of figure out what that means within the context of this episode. But either way, was this episode good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Stick around because I have opinions. Clarice episode 5, Get Right with God. Continuing the thread from last week, in which we saw Clarice, very foolishly might I add, going to talk to, I don't even want to call it a suspect, a lead, and finding out all the wrong things and getting sucker punched. Or is it sucker stabbed? Sucker syringed? Maybe? Whatever. Syringed with some stuff, and now she finds herself paralyzed from the waist down in a hospital bed amongst other people in a vegetative state. And she's being kept there for obvious reason because she found out that the woman that she thought was the sister of the woman she was looking for is actually this woman herself. And she can't be let alone to be, let loose and bring the cops back, bring the FBI back. So here we are. So this whole episode is essentially more or less a bottle episode, taking place in one room, 2 rooms. Part of that is the part with Clarice and the woman, I think her Mary Felker, who, and they tell you in the description of this, she's a serial killer. Is she really? In what way is she a serial killer? I don't understand how they drew that comparison, because where's the serial killing happening? As a matter of fact, she just seems to be a very unethical, possibly criminal, scientific researcher working for what appears to be a pharmaceutical company. I don't know. There's a conspiracy. She's a part of it. She's doing research and all this other stuff. She probably had something to do with the people, pinpointing people to be killed by the hired killer from the previous episode. You get it. And they make it clear in this episode, hey, she's involved in the conspiracy. She's there for some altruistic reasons, some not. You hear all of that in this episode. So we find our hero Clarice. Now she's trapped once again by a person who's got her, has her at the mercy, and probably gonna kill her at the end of this. The only thing that's keeping her alive is, hey, she may have information that the bad guys find interesting. And also what helps her is that, she's a criminal profiler. So she has, when she's not loopy with drugs and shit like that, and not making stupid ass plans to try to, murder the person who's got her under, that's got her chemically paralyzed. She's got all that underneath, and she tried to figure out how to get to the core of Mary Felker and what motivates her, what her secrets and, her weaknesses are. At the same time, because of the drugs and everything, we also very nicely get to delve more into Clarice's past. Her whole thing, she's got dad issues because her dad, was a cop that got killed in line of duty. And she spent some time talking to him, in a hallucinatory drug state. We see, what our formative years were. She, references some time on a farm and everything, and how all that stuff made her feel. And she used it to connect to Mary, who also, had a pretty shitty looking childhood. The point is here is, hey, she may be pretty damaged and everything. She's doing horrible things. Like she literally, at one point, Mary, she actually murders somebody because she thinks Clarice knows more. She's been tasked with getting information out of her to know what the FBI knows. So again, the conspiracy runs deep and all that good stuff. We see that part of the story advance. And of course, at the same time, we have Ardelia, who's like, all right, she's missing, and let's figure out where she is. And the VICAP team's figuring it out. And they're trying to track down very quickly, I might add. They seem very, very, very competent at what they do. And not like there was a whole lot of clues that would lead anywhere else, but still, good to know that the VICAP team is on it. And of course, we see a little more of Krindler, which is a great thing that I've really loved. Like the way they have really kind of fleshed out. Now, I understand that Krindler in other medium, he's a villain, but in this one, he's not a villain. He's a dude that's going through some shit, and he's still trying to keep it together for his team, for his family. We see that he's divorced, and he's trying to deal with the divorce aspect. That was cool, and he's an ex-alcoholic. All of these things. He's not a bad guy. Yes, thank you. I get so tired of the antagonistic boss shit. It's not that necessary. It's clear to me, though, that VICAP's got the right person in charge, that the team is good, and, of course, it all works itself out. Look, is there anything that's overly surprising about this episode? Not really. Not really. Clarice is not going to die. She's the main character. That would be dumb. So we're not worried about that. The question was, would they advance the story in a meaningful way? Would you learn more about the characters, all that stuff? And we do. We learn more about Clarice. We learn more about the bad guy in this, Murray Felker. We learn, what her motivations are, what's driving her forward. We learn that she got love for her sister. She wants her sister to be well. She wants herself to be well. She's scared. And we see that, Clarice has a little bit more of a handle on what's really going on, that, she's expendable just like anybody else. And, the conspiracy angle, of course, they just leave that trail, that thread is going to be long through this show, I'm sure. And it's sort of confirmed for the people that need to have it confirmed that there is, in fact, a conspiracy. So that's cool. I like that. I really like this episode. I think the Clarice team, the writing staff, the production, the director, all that, it's been on point. I've cared about what's going on. I've been interested. In how they're proceeding. Again, not a whole lot of surprises in this, even down to the very end when they resolve the entire episode. That was not a surprise to me. It was not a surprise to me, any of the hallucinations and all that. I just like the way they are continuing all the themes, all of the through lines from the first episode that are clearly going to be working all the way to the end of the show. The fact that Buffalo Bill is going to loom large over this show, I find fascinating, and I'm interested to see how that works itself out, because while Clarice is in the field and she's dealing with this current problem and probably any other problems of the week that show up, Buffalo Bill is going to shade everything, and the way she reacts to it and the PTSD as a result. I'm glad that continues to be the case, and the way we see they creatively incorporate it into the show. The whole moth motif, I like that. I like that they're building up other characters. I like seeing Ardelia being the great detective, officer or investigator, whatever you want to call it. I like seeing the VICAP team. I like all those guys. I like Krindler, he just being who he is and showing other shades of who he is as a person, someone who respects, and that I think that, as I've read some people say, they've redeemed or rehabilitated his image. Love it. So this show is hitting on all cylinders for me. I'm just, every time I watch an episode, I'm just like, this is interesting. It feels like a slow burn, but it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like all the slow burnness of it is interesting and vital and moves the story forward and is giving me more context and more information about, when this inevitably ramps up and they have, they finally track down the bad guys and all that stuff. There's going to be a lot of high stakes, high intensity action and shit like that. I know it's coming. It's coming towards, whenever they wrap this whole storyline up, but they're laying the foundation for that, so it feels real and earned, and I enjoy it a lot. So they're doing a great job over there. I highly recommend this episode. Watch this show. Clarice it's great TV. It's good stuff, and I think you all will really enjoy it. So that's my review of episode 5 of Clarice, entitled Get Right with God. So what did you guys think? Did you agree with my assessment? Did you not agree? Did you like this episode or not? Hey, let me know how you feel about it. And you can do that down in the comments. Of course, by email, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, and on Twitter @supernotfunnys1. We can get down there and chop it up, talk about this. In my opinion, really great show. Great so far, 5 episodes in. And of course, if you are not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Go down there and hit that subscribe button so you can join the Super Not Funny Show family. And of course, you hit the notification bell so it'll let you know when we drop new content, which is weekly. It's going to be reviews, reactions, and anything else that floats our pop culture boat. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me for this review. Come back next week for another review of Clarice, the next episode of Clarice. Look forward to that. Until then, I have been Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I will see all you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.